people, welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige. This is Seeking Alexandria. And guys, I have done this intro, I'm not exaggerating, for 40 minutes. Every single time I do something, the phone rings, this happens. If I were to count them, at least 35 times. So if I repeat myself, or if I sound crazy, or if I start just being all kind of weird, even weirder than usual, I just apologize in general for whatever is happening in the cosmic universe today. But guys, we need to discuss this So Jaded palette from Colourpop, because I think that this is one of those palettes that for me, I just love so many aspects of it. And I'm just going to kind of rapid fire through what I love, starting off at the very beginning with this packaging. I think that it is so beautiful. It's so inviting. It has this nice earthy jewel undertone to it that really carries you through when you open up the palette, because it's so beautifully representative of what you get on the inside. Everything is just very nice. Again, the undertones are very cohesive. You get several finishes. Let's go ahead and dive into the Colourpop website for some of the details on this. I'm not going to read it word for word, but this is a $39 palette. It is currently sold out, but I'm sure that they will be restocking it in the future. So if you do want this, be on the lookout for that. But if you did pick it up, or if you're planning on it, what you will be getting here are 30 super pigmented shades. And it says here that it includes the perfect combination of matte and metallic shadows, 1 super shock shadow, and 2 pressed glitters. And it is of course inspired by crystals and gemstones. You can create a rich neutral eye or a perfect jewel toned monochromatic look. The palette is everything. And again, guys, I'm going to agree. I really love the overall like neutrality, but with a pop that this carries, and the fact that everything has such a consistency to it, the undertone, the different finishes, all of that I really enjoy. And while we're on the topic, I also really enjoy the fact that they do give you multiple finishes in here. I feel like that plays off beautifully, not only because this is a whole eye look and it makes it a really developed look, but it also makes it something that is even easier to use because you don't need to reach for multiple things, and it plays beautifully off of that crystal gemstone kind of vibe, because some crystals are shiny and some gemstones have a nice sparkle to them, and some of them are on the more matte side. So I really feel like it's just very cohesive. Something else that I really like about this is actually the layout. This is something that I saw in the Kathleen Light's Colourpop video that they did when they went through and swatched the entire palette. But in that video, they talked about how you can basically take like this corner right here, create an eye look, these blues right here, create an eye look, and a lot of the colors are actually grouped together aesthetically like that, so you can kind of just create a fast eye look, or you can kind of mix and match and poke around and do your own thing if you want to. And I really just like that aesthetic of it. I like knowing that I can look at this palette and go, hey, these colors together look really nice, or I can play, hey, this looks pretty with this color, or I can play around. Like, I just love that vibe. Now guys, I don't want to waste a ton of time just sitting here talking about this palette. I actually want to get to use it. So let's go ahead, scooch you guys in, create an eye look, and see where we can go from here. Because girl, I'm excited to put some jewel toned cuteness on my face. Also, just so you guys know, as far as the swatching went for this palette, I do feel like some of these were a little bit softer than others. For example, the shade My Precious right here, that is an incredibly soft bone color shade. And when I actually pressed my finger into it, it's a matte shade, and it actually kind of like crumbled under my finger, and none of the other mattes did this. So this one is a little bit softer, so be mindful of that. Same thing with the shade Emerald. This is actually a shimmer shade. It is so beautiful and very rich in pigment, but it is a little bit softer than some of the other shimmers. Keep that in mind. Now, there were a couple of shades in here on the matte side that were a little bit patchy when I was swatching them, and again, I know swatches don't count for everything, but it was more so that they had a little bit of a different consistency to them than some of the other shades. So just something I wanted to mention, if while you're applying them, you know, some of them just go on differently. Some of the mattes do feel like they have a slightly different texture, but I think for me, I've already kind of been playing on the back of my hand here while I was off of camera, just trying to decide like what color assortment I wanted to go through. So I think I'm going to start off by priming this whole little ditty here with my Tarte Shape Tape. This is in the shade Porcelain Beige. And with that being done, we're going to start diving into the shade You're a Gem, and I'm taking this on the JH30 from Morphe, and I think I'm going to use this and just wipe it all the way through the crease, just as a nice transition shade, because I have a deeper shade that I want for the outer V, and I really think they're going to pair beautifully together. Oh my god, I love this color. And I'm just lightly taking this and kind of skimming it all the way through the crease, even out toward the outer V here. That way when I apply the deeper shade on the outer V, it has something to blend into. Now with the same brush, I'm going to go into the shade Garnet right here and put that on the outer V of the eye. As I'm working that onto the outer V, I don't want to carry it too far over. I mainly want to keep that depth toward the outer portion of the eye, and it just is blending in so beautifully. And as you can see, that that's why we put down that transition shade, because it just really helps everything meld together seamlessly. Okay, so I love that color combination so much, but I do want to deepen it up just a freckle. Again, I don't want it to get overly deep, but I really just want to emphasize the undertone of that garnet shade. So I'm going to grab the shade Jasper right here, and I'm going to take that on a Morphe M433. And I'm just going in and really setting and pressing the pigment with the brush, and then I'm going in with those tiny little circular motions and lightly kind of blending and buffing it into that garnet shade, just because I don't want it to be overly rich in pigment right there. I just want to create a nice little depth of color more than anything. I love it when the tractors are so loud that I can't hear myself think. That's what I love. So far I have used I've used 3 matte shades out of this palette, and I will say the consistency of the mattes is pretty even as far as the pigmentation goes. I am getting a little bit of kick in pan, and I don't know if you can see it on camera or not, but I would say Jasper, which is this shade, has probably had the worst amount of kick, but everything is blending really, really nicely, so I don't mind if there is a little kick in pan. Just something to note if that's something that bothers you. All I do is blow it off and call it a day. Doesn't faze me at all, honey. Glitter glue. How do I always lose you, my glitter glue? Oh, glitter glue, I found you. So next up, we're going to go in with our glitter glue. Again, this is all personal preference. I say this in every video. You don't have to use glitter glue. Hell, you don't even have to use the one from Too Faced. The one from NYX will work just fine. They will both, of course, be linked down below. But I am just going to go in and lightly tap some glitter glue onto the inner portion of my eye right here. And then I'm going to grab the shade Diamond on my finger. Ooh, look at her. She is so pretty. This is the Super Shock shadow in the palette, and I am just going to lightly kind of take and tap and veil that over this area. I gotta be honest, guys, this is probably one of my favorite shades in the palette, and I just love it because it applies so beautifully. Like, their Super Shock formula is beautiful, but it also has this really, really nice like consistency and shimmer to it. There's just something about that texture mixed with the color on the eyelid. Like, it's just so gorgeous. I love it so much. Okay, now don't get me wrong, you guys, I could 100% stop here and be completely satisfied, but of course my little fingers, my little grubby moments here, they are not satisfied. They still want to dive in and play. So I think from here I want to grab just a little tiny freckle of the shade Ruby right here. Oh my god, like the opacity on this shade is ridiculous. Wait, I'm sorry. Opacity of the shade. Everybody always yells at me and says, Paige, it's opacity, it's not opacity. Girl, I'm from Northern Michigan. Okay, I say cow and beef and burger and corn and hay. Okay, I don't know the rest of the words. I just know that that's what it is. It's real pretty, it's shiny, and it's got a lot of pigment. I'm just gonna take and pop this lightly on the outer V here and use that to marry the Diamond Super Shock with that outer color. Oh my god, that was such a good decision. Oh, your girl really likes that decision right there. Yes, she does, honey. And I know what you're probably thinking, Paige, this is a slightly vanilla look, and you're right, but I'm about ready to jazz it up, and I think it's either gonna go really good or really bad. I was about ready to be really optimistic and be like, it's gonna be such a good decision, but I honestly don't know if it will be, so we're just gonna find out. We will just let the cards fall where they may. I honestly don't know if it's gonna be good or not. But I'm really excited to try. That's gotta mean something, right? Okay, now obviously we could stop right here, like I said, and just let this go. This is a whole moment. It's beautiful, but your girl's just in the mood to add some pizzazzle. So let's go ahead and take a tiny touch more glitter glue and apply this to the lid, and we're mainly going to take it over that open area where we applied the Diamond shade, that Super Shock shade, and we're just lightly going to veil that area with a very tiny amount. And then we're gonna do it, guys. We're gonna take the plunge into Opal, which is a pressed glitter, and we are going to very lightly tap that on this shade, just a little bit. Guys, when I say a little bit, I mean a little. I don't want a lot of this. I don't want it to overtake the look, but I just want to veil that pop all the way through. Oh my god, that's so good. Guys, that glitter is freaking gorgeous. I love Opal, first of all. Like, that's probably my favorite stone out of all of them, and there is just something about this freaking glitter, so multifaceted with so many different little colors in it. Like, oh my gosh. And I'm just lightly taking, by the way, a little bit of the leftover glitter that's on my finger and just veiling the back half of the lid just to keep it kind of moving in that direction, but there's no glitter glue back here, so it's just a little bit of it, like just enough to give me like a little, just a little bit. So I think for the lower lash line, I want to keep it fairly subdued, but I still want to play around with something a little bit different. So I'm going to grab the shade Ametrine, I don't know what it's called, but I'm going to grab that here on the same Morphe M433, and I am going to apply that just all over the lower lash line here, just as a nice little wash of color. And I actually really like this shade because it does have a little hint of glitter in it, but it still applies like a matte shade. So it's basically matte with like a hint of sparkle. And it's just really, really pretty. I don't know, I just really like that it's something a little bit different, but it matches all those other purple hues really nicely. On the outer portion, I will grab just a touch of Jasper, which is that dark shade, just to pair it up with the upper lash line just a little bit. And then we're gonna grab the Morphe M506 and that diamond shade, the Super Shock shade here, and we are going to apply that on the lower lash line and kind of blend it in toward that purple. I probably will put a little highlight over this, but I really want this nice little poppy moment. Actually, guys, I lied. I'm going to take a little bit of Smoky Quartz and Moonstone, which are two of the shimmers in here. I'm going to throw that down here. Oh, yep, Good call, Paige. Good call. Just so you guys know, too, while I was doing this, I actually intentionally left this side undone, just so you could see the difference if you wanted to go with more of like a glittery version, you want to spice it up a little, or if you want to go more neutral, this palette is very, very good for that as far as, you know, picking one direction, the other. I need to go daytime to nighttime. I just want daytime. I want something soft. Whatever you're looking for, there really are a lot of options as we've been going through this eye look that you could kind of stop and just decide for yourself what's far enough kind of thing. And I really like that. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead off of camera. I'm going to finish this eye so it looks like this one, and when I come back on, we're going to go over some final thoughts, talk texture and all of that, so hang tight and I will be right back. All right, beautiful people, I am back. The rest of my face is on. A little bit of ABH vintage gloss on the lip, and everything else, including that, will be, of course, affiliate linked down below if you are curious. So diving back into this palette, though, really quickly, I do want to talk about the amount of product you receive, because that's something I talk about in every video, because I think it's really important to know exactly how much you're paying for. And out of the 30 shades in this palette, 29 of them have 0.03 ounces of product. That is the 2 pressed glitters as well as the 27 regular pressed eyeshadows. And then the Super Shock shadow, you get 0.05, but again, it is a little bit of a different consistency. Now for me, focusing on the majority of the palette, which is the 29 shades at 0.03 ounces, it is a little bit small for me. I do like my shades to come in at 0.05. You guys know that if you're new here. I think that 0.05 ounces per shadow pan is just a nice standard amount of product. But I also did go ahead and pull 3 of my other Colourpop palettes here at random. Of course, I grabbed the Sweet Talk palette, and all of these do also have 0.03 ounces in them. I also grabbed the Dream Street palette here, which is the Kathleen Lights collab that she did with them as well, and these also have 0.03 ounces. And then I grabbed the Chasing Rainbows palette, which is just a really beautiful bright palette, and this is the only one that had any difference in it, and these had 0.04 ounces. So for the most part, as far as the other palettes that I have in my collection from Colourpop, this is very consistent as far as what you are used to getting, as far as the amount of product per pan. Now, as far as the amount of product you receive per pan, meaning $39 over the 30 pans, this one comes in at $1.30 per pan, which is actually the cheapest out of all the ones that I pulled out of the drawer right here. I believe 2 of these were $1.33-ish per pan, and then one of them was $1.50 per pan. So I'm not mad at how much you're paying or how much you're getting. So again, is it under 0.05? Yes, but at least it is consistent as far as how much product you're getting, how much you're paying for that product, and that I can't be mad at. I feel like as long as everything is consistent, I can at least work with that. So overall, as far as this palette goes, whether it's consistency, quality, how much you're paying, the application that I had today, I don't really have anything negative to say about this. This is very much so the type of palette that really sings to my absolute soul. I love jewel toned. I love this type of aesthetic. I love the packaging. I love that you have so many different eye looks and so many different options in one palette. I love that it has the little pop, a little pizzazzle, but not too much. Now, for those of you that are new here, one of the things that I always do anytime I have a first impression item is I go through, and in a couple of weeks, I will actually give you an update on this. And in that, I will just tell you what I think after I've used it several more times, the creaminess, the consistency, were all of the mattes easy to blend, or was this one a little patchy? Did this shimmer have a lot of fallout? That sort of thing. So definitely be on the lookout for that here in the next couple of weeks as I go through and use this little bad boy. But again, overall, for a first impression, I am very, very impressed. I really like it. This is very much so my aesthetic, my jewel tone moment. But you guys, those are my thoughts overall. What do you think of this palette? Leave me all of your thoughts and opinions down below. Do you like the eye look? Are you curious about it? Did you pick it up? Are you going to pick it up if it restocks? What are your thoughts? Leave them all down below. And while you're down there, don't forget you can check me out on Instagram and on Twitter. They are both linked in the description. And if you haven't done so yet, you can also subscribe and turn on your post notifications to this here YouTube channel. I do upload 5 videos a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They go up bright and early between 6 and 7 a.m. my time here in Northern Michigan. But you guys, that is it. Thank you all so much for watching. Please do not forget to have a great day, night, weekend, whatever it is when you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! I have a cat hair in my mouth, and I don't like that. Oh, it's stuck to my gloss. I hate that. And I think I have a look in mind that is going to be so, so gorgeous. So let's go ahead and start off by priming the lid. Was that a bug? Was that a bug? If that was a bug, I'm going to cry. I don't see a bug, but if you see me actually pass out, it's because there's a bug somewhere. I love it when the tractors are so loud. I'm just over here trying to super shock my life away, and you're outside making noise, being rude. Oh, there's a tractor. Maybe they're friends. Maybe the tractor and the lawnmower want to get together and go on a double date outside of my yard. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige. This is... Calm down.